Tower of Fantasy closed beta test is less than 1 day away, and today we are going to be looking at the combat system for Tower of Fantasy. I'm going to be showing you how combat works, how it might differ from other gacha games you may or may not have played, how the weapon abilities will work, the different tiers of the weapons, and how they sort of interact with each other, and how you can use the different weapons to combo with each other. So for today's weapon test, or weapon showcase rather, I will show you 3 different weapons. One is an R rate weapon, one is an SR rate weapon, and one is an SSR rate weapon. For those Genshin Impact players, this would be the equivalents of a 3-star weapon, a 4-star weapon, and a 5-star weapon. A quick breakdown for how weapons work is pretty basic, similar to other games like Genshin Impact if you have played those games before. You're gonna have your normal attacks that you can do a standard combo with, each weapon having its own different combo cycle, whether that be the bow, sword, or hammer, as well as them each having some sort of charge attack functionality. So as you can see with the bow here, you can aim, take up a shot here, and do a charge attack. So for the hammer as well, you can charge up this attack and do a powered up big slam down, and do some minor AoE damage depending on how closely grouped up enemies are. With the sword here, you'll actually do a slash upwards, launch people there, and then you can actually do aerial attacks. Once you are in the air, you can do a whole combo, and then you can slam back down or continue to do those combos. You will drain stamina while you are doing aerial combos. When it comes to things like bows, you can also use your jump pack and actually use your bow in air. If you, for whatever reason, need to dodge an ability upwards or want to maintain your time in air away from enemies on the ground, you can do so for getting quick charge attack off while in the safety of the air, which is nice. Each weapon has one ability and one quick time event, kind of like a elemental skill or elemental burst, like in Genshin Impact. So for the bow, you have this charge, jump back, disengage, charge attack, and it'll do one big shot here. And for the sword, you will do this massive AoE damage, which will then end in an explosion around your character, dealing solid damage around your character. And for the hammer, you will actually gain an aura doing increased damage. You'll see the hammer has now this, white stream coming out of it, increasing the speed at which you swing. Allows you to swing a little bit faster, do more damage, and increase the amount of defense capabilities that you have as well with this hammer. For quick time events, kind of like Genshin Impact elemental bursts, you will be having to charge those up. There's not an energy system, but it's more like a comboing system. The more attacks you do, you'll slowly build energy, and as you swap to another weapon, that is when, once the gauge is full, you can charge up to 2 quick time events at once. I'll show you in a little bit. You will then activate, when you swap to another weapon, you will then activate that weapon's quick time event, and then you will continue into combat with that weapon, and it will be pretty seamless. We've got some enemies here. Let's see what we can do. We'll build up attacks here. You can see here we've launched into some aerial attacks right off the bat. You can also do dodging, simple things like that. Make sure you're dodging their hits. And you can see here there's pretty good AoE capabilities. That is something that you can do. Be careful fighting around the ledges there. You might just go barreling off the side. All right, we got some more enemies here though. So as you can see here, we'll use this elemental skill. We'll end an explosion to do that. That little bell that you just heard there is indicating that we have one quick time event charged up and ready to go. Now you can see the gauge on the weapons is continuing to charge, and like I said, you can charge up to 2 quick time events at once. Once you have those done, you can swap between your weapons and use them and activate those quick time events in combat. You will automatically swap to the weapon that you choose during the quick time event, and you'll take out the enemy. So let's in combat here, we can switch to the switch to the sword from the bow here, or to the hammer rather. You'll do this big AoE event here, and you'll be back in combat, ready to go with your next, with your attacks. And you can jump right in, use your element, or use your skills, use your abilities, and take advantage of that. And so this hammer will do really big, slow, chunky attacks. It's a very solid hammer that, you know, stun locks a lot of enemies because of the big, massive hits. And it's a very nice weapon for, you know, supporting and things like that. The bow also does a simple, you know, as a 3-star weapon, does a more simple thing in terms. And the one interesting thing too about this game is that on top of the normal attacks, charge attacks, things like that, there's also a dash attack, something that's a little bit different from other games that you may have played. But as you can see here, you do normal attacks like this, and then there's obviously, you know, being able to do a in-combat charge attack. We'll do this little mini rain of arrows, right? But if you do a dash attack and charge, it'll do this, you know, short range burst. This is the normal charge attack, or the standard charge attack. If you do a dash, charge, you'll do that little quick shot burst right there. And the same will be here for any other weapon that you use, right? So we'll switch back to the sword, we'll do our quick time event, do a nice bit of AoE damage there. And we can see here, when you dash, you do that nice, you know, swing up, close distance, dash in, and move into doing an aerial attack, right? And from there, you can do aerial, and jump back down, and do a large combo, and bring it right back in. And then constantly be swapping back in between. See all the big damage that you can do. AoE with the hammer. So charge up attack here. And just absolutely wallop. As you can see, that was a big, nice crit too on top of all that. But we did an absolute crap ton of damage to that guy right there. Goes to show you that even as, you know, the equivalent of 4-star SR weapons, they can be very powerful, very useful in your rotations. That has been a quick showcase of how combat works in Tower of Fantasy. If you have any questions at all whatsoever, feel free to leave them in the comments. I will do my best to respond to everyone who leaves a question. Make sure I can clarify any and everything that I can for you. And on top of that, if you want, we'll be live streaming the Tower of Fantasy beta live on Twitch. Link to that in the description and pinned comment below. So make sure to head over there if you want to come check out and ask questions live, get your answer immediately. I will be live at launch of Tower Fantasy closed beta, 8 p.m. Eastern time, April 18th. And that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.